This video is designed as an overview of the CRM Online Sales module. As we've discussed in previous videos, the navigational structure of CRM is such that large icons on the left represent what we call modules. Clicking on a module, such as Workplace, where I am now, provides smaller icons under that module, which we consider to be entities. So for instance, I'm in the Workplace module right now, and I'm looking at dashboards. I could click on activities and see the activities that I'm engaged in. If I click on the Sales module, I see a list of entities under that Sales module. These entities have names which you will likely find familiar, such as leads, opportunities, accounts, contacts. But what may not be familiar is the way in which CRM Online thinks of these entities and the relationships between these entities, as well as the Salesforce automation workflow that typically happens when using CRM Online. And that's what we're going to cover. At a very high level, it should be understood that CRM Online treats leads, opportunities, accounts, and contacts in a very specific way. Quick definition is that leads represent what we might call relatively low value information, whereas accounts represent a company that you are doing business with. Contacts represent people who work for those companies that you do business with, and opportunities represent monetary opportunities where you might be able to sell or otherwise make money with those accounts and contacts. And so, therefore, the flow of Salesforce automation and the flow of work, more or less, using the sales module consists of leads in the beginning, relatively low value, flowing to accounts, opportunities, and contacts. Idea being, let's open up a lead. We see here, what does a lead consist of? Not a lot of information, not an enormous amount of information. A lead consists of a topic, a first name, a last name, a job title, a company name, and some other data fields such as addressing that are very important, and some details. What's important to understand, though, is that the lead serves as a source of information when creating other more qualified records. Other qualified records, more qualified records being the opportunity, the contact, and the account. So let's look at the lead for a moment in the context of this concept of leads turning into opportunities, accounts, and contacts. What does the lead consist of? Well, the required fields are topic, last name, and company name. This is out of the box. Of course, this could be changed. But the point is that the reason why these specific fields are required is because the lead is going to serve as a source of information to automatically create these other related records. For instance, if you had a conversation with Yvonne McKay. She worked for Practical Supply Company. She was a purchasing manager, and they had a new store opening up this year. You identified an opportunity to do business with her company through this interaction. So you collected this information. You collected the topic of what you discussed. You identified her first and last name, what she does for a living, who she works for. And if you started to do business and qualified this lead, you would need to create an account named Practical Supply Company. You'd need to create a person in your database called Yvonne McKay who worked for Practical Supply Company. Perhaps she was even the primary contact of that company. And you would very likely wish to create an opportunity in CRM to track the fact that the new store opened this year. And maybe you should do a follow-up. Well, it would be pretty tedious to take this information here and create other account records from it, or other records in CRM from it, using copy and paste. So the general idea is that when you have a lead and it gets to the point at which you're going to qualify it as to whether or not you're actually going to do business with this person or this company, you have this facility in the lead, right in the lead, called qualify. Now this is assuming that you've already done some work. So there might be some activities that you've already associated with your lead. Maybe you've made some telephone calls and you want to track that. That would happen under activities and so forth. For instance, if you were going to add a new activity that you made, say, an initial phone call, you would go right in the lead, you would click activities, you'd go ahead and create a phone call and say initial phone call, make your notes, save and close it. Now you have an actual activity associated with Yvonne McKay, with this lead. So at some point, there's a back and forth perhaps, and you decide that you are going to be able to do business. This is a qualified opportunity, and that it needs to be in your database with various contacts associated and the company itself and the opportunity. So at that point, you decide to qualify the lead. Now notice if I hover over qualifies, it defines it pretty well. Create a new opportunity, an account, or a contact with information from this lead, or disqualify the lead and close it. When the lead is converted, it is saved and qualified or disqualified in the closed leads view. And we'll talk about views in a moment. But the point is that at this point we are ready to qualify this. Click qualify. A web page dialog comes up. We have the choice to qualify and convert or disqualify completely. If we disqualify, it simply means that we've lost the actual lead, in the sense that we've really not able to do business with them. They're not interested, they're canceled. Of course, it's modifiable. But what we're going to do is we're going to qualify this lead, and we're going to create either or all an account, a contact, and an opportunity. What's a little bit interesting about this is that you'll notice that an opportunity is not a standalone record in CRM Online. For instance, if I chose to deselect and say all I want to create is an opportunity from this lead, it would imply and require that I already had a customer, which was either an account or a contact, in the system, and that I would look them up, and that would become an opportunity surrounding an existing customer. It's important to understand. If you want to just create an opportunity, the implication is that you already have an account that you're talking to. But we don't in this case, and so we have identified an actual opportunity. Of course, as you can see, you don't even have to convert to opportunity either. You can convert to just one or all three. We're going to convert all three. We're going to decide that, you'll notice, of course, if you click account and contact, this is grayed out because you're saying, I need to create a new account, a new contact for this qualified lead, right? And I think just for the purposes of this video, we will go ahead and open up this newly created record, these newly created records, and we'll click OK. This is the lead qualification process. You'll see some records being created. You'll see some data flowing, so to speak. And you'll end up with the opportunity, which is the third thing that was created. So what have we got here? We've got a new store open this year. Remember that? That was the topic from the lead. That becomes the name of the opportunity. The potential customer becomes the practical supply company. So there's a relationship already. This opportunity, this window that we're looking at here, is the 360-degree view of this opportunity, is already related to somebody very important, the practical supply company. The practical supply company is an account that was created from that lead. So I'll go ahead and close this opportunity. Now what are we looking at? Well, this is Yvonne McKay. This is a contact record in the database that came from that lead. And of course we've got her email address. We've got her first name, last name, which was straight out of the lead, job title as well, and parent customer. We also have the business phone, and we have the address, came right over. And any other information that was contained on that lead that matches the contact record will be brought over as well. Let's look at the third record that was created. Here's the account. This is the practical supply company. The primary contact is, you guessed it, Yvonne McKay. So you see that these records were created with information that was contained on the lead automatically, and then they were related with each other in very important ways. How are those relationships expressed in the interface? Well, they're expressed, as you can see, through these lookup fields, as well as through the left-handed navigational structure, which represents the related entities. So, what does that mean? That means related in a different way, related in the fact that there can be more than one opportunity to an account, but there's only really one primary contact. We're going to go over, this will come up over and over again, the ideas of these types of relationships, because they become very, very important when you need to get data out of CRM and represent that data and build reports and build spreadsheets around your data. It's really important to understand the nature of these relationships. So forgive me, but we will go on and on about that. Here's the point. The point is that from that lead, you generated 3 records. One was an opportunity, which we looked at. One was the contact, Yvonne McKay, and one was the account. This is the account record. Underneath this account record, there could be more than one contact. I'll click on this, and we'll see that there is Yvonne McKay. There could be more. More people could work for Practical Supply Company, obviously, but in the out-of-the-box, unmodified version of CRM Online, there is only one primary contact. And that's a different kind of relationship. This is what we call a many-to-one relationship, where there can be many of these. This is what we call, I guess you could call it a lookup relationship, where there's only one. And it's a lookup to another record. If I click on that, I get all the information I need about Yvonne McKay. I close that window and I'm back to the account. So what you've seen here is the very basics of how the sales module is designed to actually work. We had the lead. The lead generated these other 3 records. You might ask, what about that activity? What about that phone call? I mean, I made that initial phone call for Yvonne McKay. What happened to that phone call? Well, it still exists at the lead, as you can see, but this is kind of interesting. If I click on Accounts, and I find the Practical Supply Company, which was created, and I click on Activities for that Practical Supply Company, lo and behold, I see the initial phone call. The very first phone call that opened this all up. So, activities also flow downward from leads, and you end up getting a history of your interaction with this company way back when they were just a lead in your database. So I hope that this brief introduction to the sales module and the way that leads are designed to flow into opportunities and accounts was helpful. You'll notice here, this is a lead view, and you'll notice that the view is My Open Leads. Well, what happened to Yvonne McKay? She's not open anymore because you converted her into an account, a contact, an opportunity, and when you open her up, here, Yvonne McKay's record as a lead, you see it grayed out. It's because it's closed. Closed as qualified. We try to keep these videos short and sweet, and we hope this one will help you understand at a higher level the way that the sales module is designed to work, especially with respect to the way that leads, opportunities, accounts, and contacts interact with each other. Thanks very much.